Hi, I'm Maureen Allen. I'm representing Mrs. Jones, who's a 42-year-old single mother. I'm an emergency department physician working in Antigonish, and I live in rural Nova Scotia.
Hello, my name is Owen McCarron. I'm representing a 25-year-old single male, the McKay family. I'm a county councillor, and I live in rural Nova Scotia as well, and I've been on council for 22 years.
My name is Dan Fougier. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. In my day job, I work as Director of Finance for a not-for-profit organization, and I presently serve as President of the Antigonish Chamber of Commerce, which is why I'm here today, I believe. I usually look at things through a business lens, so I'm feeling a little out of my element this evening. I am representing a 75-year-old widow woman.
Family is the Jones family. So I'm a 42-year-old single mother living on the south shore of Nova Scotia with 3 children. I have a 12-year-old daughter and 2 sons, aged 10 and 7. The hardest part of being a single mom is the financial insecurity I face with only 1 paycheck and 4 mouths to feed. It often feels impossible to make ends meet. Along with my economic struggles comes guilt. You feel responsible for not being able to give your children everything that they should be able to experience, such as after-school activities and spending ample time with you. After working 8-hour days at a local retail store, you often come home exhausted and overwhelmed by the duties still left to accomplish at home. Despite working full-time hours, there never seems to be enough money at the end of the month. When all deductions and tax credits are considered, you are left with $2,550.
Okay, the McKay family. As a single 25-year-old man, you are frustrated by the limitations of your part-time job. You grew up in Cape Breton and took on a carpentry trade a few years out of high school. After finding it increasingly difficult to obtain your trade hours, you took work in Alberta for the last year, but found life out there to be very solitary and difficult. You were offered part-time sales work back in Cape Breton, and you returned home. After the cost of moving back across the country, you find yourself drained of savings. You are earning minimum wage at your part-time sales job, but when deductions and tax credits are considered, you are left with a monthly income of $1,200.
The Lee family, you are a 75-year-old woman living on your own. Your husband has passed away, and a couple of years ago, you downsized your home. Worried about accidents while living on your own, you wear a medical alert device at all times. While most of your medications are covered, you do pay some money out of pocket for them each month. You sometimes rely on a taxi service to get to and from the grocery store and your doctor's appointments. You worked hard during your life and now receive a Canada Pension Plan and a Guaranteed Income Supplement, as well as Old Age Security and the Nova Scotia Affordable Living Tax Credit. In total, you rely on monthly income of $1,450. Let's see if I can come up with something more meaningful. Shelter, that's a fixed expense. Social, another discretionary expense. Get rid of some of this lifestyle stuff. Here's an expensive one. A weekend trip, never. Not in my budget. And I gotta play one here. Used clothing. I love Frenchies. I'm gonna spend $20. Free lifestyle. Volunteer with kids. Hey, that sounds healthy. I'm kind of lonely. Gets me out of the house. I like that one.
Birthday party, $30. Right now, attending a birthday party, although $30 doesn't seem like a lot, it's probably too much for me, so I think I'm gonna let that one go.
My income's only $1,450. I'm living alone now. That's just too darn much money.
Ooh, lifestyle, free, excellent. Community garden plot, that would be fun. So get the kids doing that. Free, oh wow. I'm getting free. So lifestyle, hand me down. Can I use the lifestyle again? Yep. Hand-me-down clothing. Music lessons, definitely gonna forego that for now.
$10. Haven't given myself much in lifestyle, a little bit of cleaning supplies, and so I think I'll take a $10 coffee break. Communication home phone. Well, I think I'm going to keep. That. It's $50. That's reasonable. If they're going to track me down for work, I need a phone.
Well, I'm Mrs. Jones. I'm the 42-year-old single mother who had 3 children. So I have a monthly income of $2,500. When I total my expenses, they come to a total of $1,900, which leaves me about $630 for groceries, which would put me in that fair nutrition category. So yes. And when I use my equity card through the National Child Care Strategy, it brings up my income for disposable income for groceries to basic nutrition.
So before the equity card, you were able to purchase what we would call fair nutrition, and we kind of describe that as maybe your family would probably have enough food to eat, but maybe not the types of food you would prefer, or the quality of food that you would be looking for. So you might be doing some things to substitute certain foods, fresh foods, out for more processed foods to get a better value. But you would be able to purchase, fair nutrition according to Canada's Food Guide. With that equity card, it allowed you to come up to a better standard in terms of what you have able to purchase food. But what's also important to know is that's what money is left for food and any other expenses that haven't been accounted for in that card.
And this strategy that I did was based on the fact that I lived very close to where I worked, and also the kids could take a school bus.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, where you live would be huge.
Yeah. Yep. So how did you make out?
All right, I'm the McKay family, and I'm a 25-year-old single male, and I had an income of $1,200, and after looking at all my expenses, I ended up with about a $1,240 expense at the end of the month, and that left me, after the equity came into play, $110, and when I look at the Canada's Food Guide, that probably brings me into the poor nutrition area, which I guess isn't that great. And I've been pretty lean on my selection of what I do for the month, so I need to figure out a different way to get into a better nutrition bracket for sure.
Yeah, so when you fall into the category of poor nutrition, we would describe that as either likely not having enough to eat, and also not having very good quality foods to eat. So you might be relying on some of the very cheap, probably energy dense, lots of energy and calories to try to fill you up, but not a lot of nutrition. And likely, as you can see, without any extra money to spare, you'd probably have to be turning to emergency food services to help you with your food.
So, my husband, bless his soul, he was an accountant. I used to call him a bean counter. He used to follow me around with a calculator, and I can see now why what he did was so important, because you need to make choices in life, and you need to know the difference between what you need and what you like and what you want. And I have monthly expenses of $1,080. My pension income and other income is $1,450, so I have $370 left towards life's essentials, including food, which will allow me to achieve a basic level nutrition in compliance with the recommendations of the Canada Food Guide. And I will still have a little bit of money left over. I think I'm going to go up to Walmart and buy myself some new clothes. I'm tired of wearing used clothing, and I'm going to get some new duds.
Great. So in your scenario, you were able to purchase the basic nutritious diet plus have a little bit of extra. And some of that is related to the types of expenses you had, and what decisions you made, but also some equity that was provided to you through community-based service. So that will allow you to meet your basic nutrition needs, which is great for an aging senior to take care of their health. And maybe one other thing I think to add in would be to say, so what is it that that family of 4 requires to purchase a basic nutritious diet? What's the amount?
The amount of money?
Yeah.
It's about $780 a month.
Right, to feed that family of
Yeah.
4 for a month.
Yeah.
For the single male, the 20-year-old male, how
Yeah.
much would he require to spend to purchase basic nutrition?
Basic nutrition for me would be about $330 per month.
Mhm. So you were quite a ways
Yeah,
off
so
from
I-
being able to,
Yep.
yeah, purchase that diet. And how much would a senior, 75-year-old woman, how much would she spend on groceries to get that basic nutritious diet?
$220 will provide a 75-year-old widow with a healthy diet.
You know, you almost expect mothers and children to be struggling, but I'm not
Mhm.
expecting, and I'm also expecting seniors to be struggling. Because they're often, especially women, because women often didn't work. It was their husbands who died young, so most women would have been in that poverty line, but I find this one really
Yeah.
affected me, yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, so when you look at, for the single male, making choices, not a lot of extravagance in that basket there, for sure.
You know, that everybody's story is interesting and where it takes us in our life, and I know I don't have to struggle at this stage in my life, but, and I never thought I struggled even as a kid growing up.
Mhm.
You know, the game kind of took me to a different place, and I ended up telling myself, count your blessings.
Mhm.
Because in my daily life, like I'm looking at ways to improve my quality of life. You know, where's my next vacation?
Mhm.
Where's my next trip? Where's my next theater outing? When's my next golf outing? And you know, the people that we're dealing with tonight, we're dealing with survival on a daily basis. And you know, what a great divide there is.
This is an eye-opener when you sit down and walk through this, because it's a pretty meager existence,
Mhm.
and that's what $1,200 will get you. So
Yeah.
tell you, as a counselor, going door to door and walking through people's doors,
Mhm.
my first time through was probably the biggest eye-opener
Mhm.
I ever had in my life. Thinking you knew your community, and then you start walking through doors
Mhm.
and seeing some of the challenges on the other side of that threshold, mind-boggling. And,
Yeah.
you know, so it gives you a different appreciation for some of the challenges that are in our community, and some people put a pretty good face on things, and yet at the end of the day, there's some big-time struggles, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's huge, I think, to reach out to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of resiliency in poverty as well, in
Mhm.
terms of how families can shape that. I mean, if they're given the opportunities, and you know, and I think it's important to realize that there is a tremendous amount of resiliency there,
Mhm.
and there are things that we can help people navigate and reach out to. And I would never have got my education if it wasn't for bursary programs, because we could never afford to
Right.
send any of our kids to the university.
Mhm.
So I think it's helping people find the resources that are there